I was involved in two of them, but one was really bad, Saugus High School. Um, and I was one of the first personnel running into the school. And
Well, why don't you talk about that a little bit, and that's going to kind of lead into what I'm going to ask you about. The school thing you're trying to pass up here with the legislature.
I'm trying to give a perspective of why it is that
Yeah,
I'm the way that I
yeah.
am. So on November 14th of 2019, so a short 4 years and change ago, 4 years and 2 months, um, I was working day shift about 7:30, 7:45, somewhere in there in the morning. Call came in for shots fired at Saugus High School in Southern California. And I was a field sergeant out there that day. Santa Clarita was the patrol station. I was working at a Parks Bureau on just north of them. And oftentimes, because I was in their area so much, they looked at me like their field sergeant. I was always rolling on their stuff and helping them out. And so I was responding, and there were updates, shots fired, um, multiple informants, that type of stuff. That's when you know it's legit. If you start getting multiple informants, it's good to go. And we had trained so much on active shooter stuff. We got so tired. I was just always active shooter training. And here I was rolling to one. And when I turned on the street, when I finally got there, about 10, 12 minutes, I don't know, somewhere in there, I didn't ever look at my response time. I don't know. It could have been 8 minutes, but it just felt like an eternity. It's like when something bad happens and you call 911 and say it took 20 minutes to show up, and you're like, oh, it only took 3. It just seems like an eternity. And I was hauling ass, driving on the wrong side of the road, running red lights, going over the center dividers in the Sheriff's Tahoe. And I turn on the street where the school is, and there's a sea of kids running past me, running. And I pull into the parking lot. I'm like I want to say maybe the fourth, fifth unit there. And I didn't grab any equipment. I didn't put a helmet on or a tac vest on or grab my AR or anything. I just went. And when I ran into the school, I rounded the corner into the quad, and I see my buddy, who my wife refers to as her Uncle Danny, Danny Finn, a freaking hero. Um, I ran in the corner, and he's on the ground doing CPR on a boy. And there's another boy laying next to him, and then there's a girl. And they're all three of them are out, full arrest. And he sees me, and I see him, and I'm like, Danny, where's the shooter? Where's the shooter? And he's like, I don't know. He ran northbound. And I jumped. It was like a quad area, but there was a step up, and they were all there. So I go up on that upper step, and I'm looking down at Gracie. Her name was Gracie Muehlberger. And she's laying on her back, and she's staring at me. But she's staring at me with that death stare that I'd seen so many times before in all these other things that I worked. Her eyes were half masked. She wasn't breathing. And he's like, you need to help me. We got to do CPR. And I said, I can't. And he's sitting there pumping on Dominic while he's yelling at me to help him. I said, I can't stop. And I had to press on. And while I'm pressing on, they're updating. There's another gunshot victim down in the classroom on the north side of the school. I end up linking up with a couple deputies. We start clearing classrooms to get to that class and get fire in there, and they start treating her. And then there's another gunshot victim, got it into the administrative office. Other deputies got to them with fire. And then they said there's another gunshot victim in the choir room. We didn't know where the choir room was, so it was like a little chaotic trying to figure out how the hell do we get to the choir room. Took a team when we started clearing, to finding kids hiding in closets and all kinds of stuff, trying to get to that kid. That girl survived. She got shot in the stomach too. The thing about active shooter training, and most people that watch this that have ever been through it, you're no good to anybody if you get emotionally involved and stop at a victim. I don't care what the victim looks like. If there's an active shooter and they're still putting victims down, it does you no good to stop and help. As sad as that is to sound, that it does sound, we have to bypass victims to get to the shooter to put them down. We have to stop them from creating more victims. We have to. And that's what I had to do that morning. And I'll forever remember that morning. I'll forever remember Gracie's face. I'll forever wonder. But we didn't know the suspect had killed himself.